See them still at that high level, ready to go as the season starts.
Yeah, I think a month of beating up on each other has kind of taken the physicality a little bit away from everybody. I think it's a long preseason, it really is, and so, but they've held their energy up extremely well for freshmen. The physicality, I think I've really toned that down over the last couple of weeks, but they've held their energy up extremely well.
Kevin, not all openers are created equally. What sort of things do you want to see from, I guess, a micro and a macro level on the floor tomorrow night for the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think this will be the first time we've had close to a full roster. I mean, our first few scrimmages, we were against Cincy, we had 8 guys, and against Virginia, we had probably 8.5 guys. So this will be the first time trying to figure out our rotations and things like that. So I think the biggest thing is just kind of seeing how these guys react to different lineups on the floor, because we weren't able to do that whatsoever the first 2 games. We were kind of handcuffed with really just one lineup. So having everyone out there against a veteran team that knows how to run their stuff that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to see when we get different lineups in there that we haven't played with, how they react.
And with the Asheville tournament following this up immediately, how does that change things tomorrow night, as opposed to if you had like another home game or 2 before one of these tournaments?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest with the Asheville tournament being on Friday and us opening on Tuesday, that's really the biggest hamper that we've had. Obviously, I'd like to be open up tonight. We weren't able to, so I think the biggest thing is these guys will get a crash course in how quickly you have to get ready for a very good Davidson team, and then getting ready for another game a day later. So the fact that Mount has so many veterans and seniors, it's going to be a good test for us right off the bat.
Stan?
Kevin, have you been able to find some way that you think will work with keeping Julian in games?
Yeah, I think he's gotten a little bit older. I think he's a little bit more mature. I think he understands. I think he understands his value when he's on the court to when he's off. We've worked with different pick and roll defenses this summer and this preseason. We worked with a couple different post traps this year, but for the most part, I think it's just him growing up a little bit and realizing, some of his fouls are just frustration fouls.
Yeah.
It wasn't scheme related. It was more of a, getting tangled up with a guy and getting a shove. So I think he's really grown. I think he understands how much he means to us when he's on the court.
Hi, Kevin. At last year's media day, your first at Maryland, when talking about your staff, you mentioned that Tony and Grant were soon to be head coaches, and today they have their first games at D1 level along with Tavon Sadler. What has it been like to kind of see them achieve that? And as a head coach, do you feel that kind of responsibility to help them out if that's part of your assistant coach's aspirations?
Yeah, most assistants, once they get away from you, they don't really want to talk to you anymore. No, I'm excited. I mean, I got Shaheen opens up tonight too. So I become very busy on ESPN Plus and Peacock and all that stuff, because some of these early games aren't on TV. But I feel like I'm a father again, to be honest with you, because you have a great sense of pride when you see your assistants who worked hard, who helped get you get your program to where they are to now get their own program. And I'm always there. I get a text every once in a while just about practice or preparation or a ref or something like that, and I'm going to be busy watching a whole lot of games, which I'm excited about.
Coach, what can you say about the freshmen, talking specifically about Deshaun, Jamie, and Jonathan, and their relationship with one another? I know that they grew up playing AAU with and against each other, but just what's it been like battling on the court and then off the court?
I mean, off the court, they are close. I mean, they do everything together. They're just 3 guys. I mean, you'd see the 3 of them on campus or riding their scooters. I mean, they get here at the same time. They're out shooting right now together. I think it's been a little bit of a wake-up call about on the court, because they've always played against each other. They've never really played with each other, but also had to battle each other in practice. So I think they're all still trying to figure out how to practice, compete against each other, but do it in a way that helps them and it's not hurting them. And I think that's something that all freshmen kind of really struggle with. As you get older, you kind of learn how to practice and do it the right way. I think these guys are still trying to figure out how to do it, and still everyone's fighting for minutes. No one knows rotations right now, so everything's kind of up in the air. But off the court, they've been great. And again, this team is very close knit team. It's nice. They all kind of hang out together. I think that's where Italy really helped us with that aspect of the game.
And just a quick follow-up to that, having that baseline there, how important is that for building the foundation for the future of this program, them being so young?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I'll give you the honest answer. I mean, if anyone says they know what's going to go on the roster at the end of the next year, they're lying to you. I love this nucleus. I love this young group. Even the sophomore class, I think, has really gotten better. So I think the foundation is definitely there. But at the end of the day, the way the NCAA has set up kind of some of the rules now, it's just you're not sitting there thinking, all right, this is what you have and what you're going to have next year. Unfortunately, it's just the way the NCAA has decided to do it.
Hey Coach, Johari has kind of that first guard off the bench. Obviously he spent some time with Jameer on the court last year, but specifically with Deshaun, how do you feel like the two of them mix together?
Yeah. I mean, that was Johari was hurt for the Virginia game, so we tried to against Cincinnati. We played 3 guards at one time. It really worked really well because it gave Jameer and Deshaun a chance to kind of get some spot up threes and not have to work so hard. So Johari gives those guys a chance to get in there and do that. Yeah, they work well. We've been playing that lineup a lot together in practice. They're bigger guards. I mean, Johari's almost 6'6" and Deshaun's 6'5". So when you have them both out there, if Jameer's out there, if Jonathan's out there, if we put Jamie out there with those 3, I mean, it's a big lineup that can be pretty good defensively and pretty good rebounding wise. But they all, I mean, because of the injuries, they're all still a little bit trying to figure each other out just because we've had so many injuries in the preseason.
Hey Coach, you just touched on how much you like this young nucleus. What is it about this nucleus that you love so much?
Just how competitive they are. Again, a lot of young kids think they're competitive, and then they get to this level and they realize they're not. I think these guys have really understood. They see what Jameer brings every day, what Dante brings every day, and I think these guys have come in and they've battled every day, and it's a very hard thing for freshmen to do, to come in and play and practice. I mean, we've been practicing since October 1st, so for a month to come in and practice at a really high level and compete every day. And this young group and the sophomores have done a really good job of competing with the older guys.
Kevin, the defense of last year's team, is that something you expect of your teams, or did it surprise you that they were able to play at that high a level? I've been in the top 25 in KenPom defense for like the last 10 years, so or somewhat close to it. I think we were 32nd last year, just because our tempo really hurt us. But I mean, for the most part, we should be a good defensive team. It's kind of what I focus on a little bit. I give them a lot of freedom offensively, but defensively, it's a way, especially in this league now, to keep you in games, to keep games close. So we're not nearly as good a defensive team right now as we were last year at this point, but we'll get there.
Anything else?
It's all right. It happens to me all the time.
All the time.
I know, it never fails.
Patrick, did you have a question?
I was good. I was actually just looking up the KenPom numbers right there.
I know, it's Google killed me. I used to say I averaged 16 and 10, and then Google came out and then we realized I averaged 4 and 2.